something that a lot of people have been suggesting is that they seem to be citing the FCC as saying definitively that only cable DOCSIS 3.0 can offer the higher speeds.
And maybe, acronym
From your speech, it seems like you're saying you're giving a much more subtle answer and saying that we don't know. I mean, for example, you asked if there was going to be 50 megabit applications, and today we have tens of millions of broadband connections that offer 15 megabits or more. Yet the applications are largely stuck well below 1 megabit,
right,
simply for economics, because it costs $1 per megabit, even at the very highest scales, for server capacity.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me say that we did not make any technological predictions in the plan. What we did was we asked, actually Columbia, to look at all the publicly announced deployment schedules on both the mobile and the fixed side. We thought that was foundational information we should have. We asked them to do it, they did it, we put it out for comment. And they basically told us what we could know. And if you think about, we're talking about publicly traded companies. At that time, by the way, the Harbinger deal that I mentioned here had not been publicly announced, so that wasn't part of it. But most of the deployments are by publicly traded companies, so they publicly announce ahead of time what they're going to do. And we reported on those, and on the basis of those, we projected forward, based on what we know about technology today, what could be done. Okay? So that we didn't make technology decisions, we didn't make capital allocation decisions. We merely said that's what it looks to us like the future is. And we did that by September for the sake of having people say, and therefore what? What should we do about that? And the point that you're raising is a very good one. But one of the things that we're saying, unlike some other national plans, by the way, most other countries' national plans were very focused on network speeds. And half of the book that you have in front of you, the back half of the book is really about applications. We think that's a far more important point. But the point I would make is we want the applications to organically drive network deployments and network speeds. But we don't know what those are going to be. Just following up on what Derek said, I think it's really important, and it was nice of him to give the planning effort some credit for what Google did. It would be nice, I hope it's true, I know we talked to Google ahead of time, but we also took that idea and suggested doing that in a military basis, where there already are existing high levels of connectivity for military purposes, but we said, let's expand that out to the barracks, to the hospitals, to the schools in those areas, and give people an opportunity to develop those applications, because we really want to be the leader in the United States in applications. And so that's the way we thought the process should drive it. But we did not make technological, we made some predictions based on the data that we had, which, actually making any predictions is always dangerous. But we certainly didn't mandate or anything like that.
Yeah, the reason I bring this up was because a lot of people, including Google, cited the FCC saying that perhaps there's going to be a monopoly in the 100 megabit market, and so.
Look, I think one of the things that's been really amusing to me. So the plan was announced on March 16th, and there probably were, there were hundreds and hundreds of articles written about it, citing hundreds and hundreds of people. I assure you, none of the people at that point in time who were cited anywhere had actually read it, right? They couldn't. This is just a problem of modern media and all that. It's a 400-page document, which, by the way, there's already been several technical appendices coming out of several hundred pages. There'll be more. We were trying to be very data-driven. And so people cite our data. The other day at a congressional hearing, it was kind of amusing to watch the Republicans citing our data, saying that 95% of the country, well, what the data actually says is 95% of the country is close enough to networks that they effectively could be offered broadband. Not that they are being offered broadband, but could be offered broadband. Now, that's our number. By the way, we may be off by a point or two, but we put that number out there and we're waiting for people to respond to it. Some people interpret that number as saying 95% of people get broadband. It's not really what it said, but that's, and in the same way people use that number, there will be a monopoly, We didn't say there will be a monopoly. We say based on current deployment schedules, here's what the market structure will look like. But if the applications don't develop, cable will have upgraded and not benefited from it, right?
Well, the fact is the DOCSIS 3.0 networks can't really offer that.